and you came in a big guy, a big black guy too.
Yeah.
And you telling this white police officer, take your hand off my player. He looked at you with such disgust, and he had a backup with him. And you can imagine what we were thinking. We were thinking, oh no, trouble is here now. Hi, this is Robert Wilkins, AKA Basketball Tall. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here with me here today because I have someone that's special to me. I consider him to be a legend, especially in the state of Louisiana. His name is George Belton, also known as Coach George Belton, but for many people in the state of Louisiana and some around this country, he's known as Vamp. And the only Vamp that I know in this entire country. Welcome, Coach.
Glad to be here with you. Well,
oh, you know, it is a joy here to be with you. What a lot of people don't know is that you are a legend. You are a legend. And I say that because of, you know, the things that you've done in your career. It's been really, really impressive. Not just that, I want everyone to know that you were my high school coach my senior year at Wassman High School in Monroe, Louisiana.
correct.
And you've had some tremendous accomplishments. And just not long ago, I know the new gymnasium that was built in 2013 was named after you. And what a feat that is, Coach. Let me tell you a little bit about this magnificent man. He grew up in Monroe, Louisiana. He attended 1st through 8th grade at Little Flower Academy. And from there, he went to high school at APPAREL High School and graduated in 1966. He was a 4-year letterman in football as a tight end. He was also a 4-year letterman in basketball as a forward at APPAREL High School, in which they won a state championship in football while he played there. He went on from there, he had college opportunities. And the college he went to was Arkansas A&M in, now called the University of Arkansas in Pine Bluff, in which he received his Bachelor's of Science in Sociology in 1970. And of course, he also pledged. He's a Phi Beta Sigma fraternity brother.
Blue.
I'm wrong?
No, I said blue.
Thank you, Coach. And he's a 4-year letterman, 3-year start in football for the Golden Lions. It's a tight end, slot receiver, and split end. He received his master's degree in early childhood education from Jackson State University in 1972. And for his profession, he 2 years as a graduate assistant in football at Jackson State University, 1 year as director of intramural at Jackson State, 2 years as an instructor for National Summer Youth Programs, 1 year as an assistant football and tennis coach at Prairie View A&M University, 1 year as an instructor for early childhood development, 40 years as educator, coach, and dean of students at Wassman High School in Monroe, Louisiana. Also my alma mater. 24 years, what a career, Coach. 24 years as the boys basketball coach. Over 600 victories, including a 30-1 season in 1992, in which you also won state that year.
Yes.
Two-time state champion also. Class 3A 1980, that was his first state championship with Wassman. And of course, 8 top 28 Final Four appearances. Well, that's a lot, Coach. 12-time
Yes,
district champions, 2-time co-district champion, 12-time district coach of the year, 3-time all Northeast Louisiana coach of the year, and state coach of the year in 1992. Wow. 6 years. And of course, after the boys, he's then started coaching the girls. Coach, let me ask you something.
Yes.
After boys, did you decide not to coach anymore and just be a dean of students? How did that come about, you leave the boys and coaching the girls?
What had happened was, Robin, in 1995, 4th of July, my wife passed on 4th of July, 1995. And my son was 8 years old at the time. And I coached up to 97. That was my last year with the boys. And we went to the top 24 tournament that year. And I just decided, my son started playing basketball because also he went to Little Flower. He started playing basketball at his school. And I said, gosh, I'm raising other people's kids. I need to go see my son play. So I decided, I was doing the dual job as being a student and boys basketball coach at the time. So I decided just to give up the boys in 1997 and to follow my son a career. And so I followed my son until he graduated in 05 from St. Frederick High School. He stayed in the Catholic school. And he graduated from St. Fred and went to Louisiana Tech. And after he was freshman year at Tech, I was off the girls' job. And so I decided, I said, well, let me think about this. So he came home one weekend from Texas. And I said, George, they offered me the girls' coach. Excuse me. He said, Daddy, take that job. Look at this remote. All you're doing is just dropping to the remote and tearing it up. So I decided to go back and coach girls. So I coached the girls for 6 years. And then after 6 years, I had enough of that. So I just decided to stay on and retire.
And Coach, you know what? I was looking here, 6 years as girls basketball coach after a tremendous career with the boys. And you were 2-time district champions. You were 2-time district co-champions and all Northeast Louisiana coach of the year with the girls also.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. But since I'm talking about you, Coach, might as well finish it off a little bit more as a biography here.
Okay.
You attended Little Flower of Jesus Catholic Church.
Yes.
And you sings in the choir.
Yes.
You serve as financial counsel. And this Eucharistic minister, and I think I hope I pronounced that right, and member of the Knights of Peter Claver. Thank you, Coach.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Coach, just to tell the viewers that I have, in I believe it was 1973, when you first came to Wassman, I saw this gigantic man. He was standing about 6'5", because you had on your platform shoes.
Yeah.
And, and you were walking down the courtyard, and you had these humongous sideburns. Some folks, Elvis Presley like sideburns, so you can picture that. And you had that part down the middle of your hair. Your hair went, and you were friendly to everybody. You were walking, hey, how you doing, so and so. You captured, when you walked into any place, everybody knew you were there because you demanded such attention without even trying.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed with you, because you were someone who we looked up to. Then, of course, Lee Fobbs came with you, the All-American from Grambling, and wow. It was a joy just to see you come there, and you elevated many of us. You gave us hope as well, especially seeing a guy like you walking on campus. Integration with the schools had just taken place, early on in the couple of years prior.
Right.
And seeing somebody like you walk upon the campus like that with such confidence, and that was a joy for us.
Yeah. And Rob, what I was trying to do during that time, you know, black coaches and black teachers was not a whole lot of black men at these schools. And, you know, it was a lot of women and very few other Caucasians, you know, men. And I felt that, you know, I had to set a standard and let them know that, hey, you got a positive black male on this campus. And I'm going to try to and let everybody know we want to be positive. You know, the guys, you know, I hear what you just said many times. Guys tell me all the time, say, Coach, it is amazing when you came over there, what happened to us over there. Our whole demeanor changed. And you know, that's a positive thing. That's what I was trying to do. And something positive to them. Because growing up, Rob, when I was in school, especially at Little Flower, you know, I wouldn't talk about black teachers. I would talk about white teachers. I didn't get to about a black male or female until I got to Carroll High School. Because there wasn't nobody older but the nuns and the priests. But they instilled so much positive stuff in us. That, you know, meaning that you are somebody, you are a person, and whoever you meet, you want them to treat you as a person. And that's how it was. And when I got to Wassman, so much of them instilled in me to take on to our young kids at Wassman High School.
Definitely, Coach. Definitely. And, you know, your presence and others that came along with you during that time was an inspiration definitely for us. And I remember some of the teachers back then that came, I mentioned Lee Fobbs.
Yeah.
And you, matter of fact, you came in not just teaching, but as an assistant football coach for Wassman.
Correct.
And I believe, did Lee Fobbs come with you at the same time?
He came a year or 2 years after me.
Okay.
Because he was still playing professional ball then.
Oh, okay. And but I remember other teachers like, you know, Dr. Billy Barnes, Miss Simmons, Miss Ullman, you know, it was just, and you played for, you know, when you were assistant under Coach Gambino.
Right.
Tell me about your experience, Coach, when you came to a school such as Wassman.
Well, when I first got there, Rob, you know, the thing about it, you know, being the only black male on the football staff, you know, and every time you went into the meeting room, it was just you in there. But those guys treated me just as good as gold, you know, when I got there. And the thing about it, we are still friends at this day, man. You know, we talk to each other still. Gambino, Ross Davis, those guys, you know, we still talk to each other. We call each other and check on each other, man, because what we started at Wassman, you know, we started a winning tradition there. You know, everybody used to play Wassman. We played 7, 8 homecomings a year. And then after about 2 years, the whole program changed around. Then we couldn't hardly find games because they know that we were going to tear that head up. You know, but, you know, we brought positive stuff to the school and to South Side of Monroe.
Yes. You know, Coach, I got to tell everybody though, you know, your first year there, and you became the head boys basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
But before I jump ahead of myself, let me back up a little bit. We had a civil rights moment. And it was during the spring semester of 1975 when we lost the playoff game against Airline in Shreveport. And after that ball game, you know, of course, we were a little upset, you know, I mean, we were feeling the tension, but no one was destructive. No one was violent or anything like that. And this police officer was telling Ted Moore, who we called Paul Harvey back then, you know, trying to tell him to calm down, be quiet or whatever. And he grabbed Paul Harvey.
Yeah.
And you know, back then, you know, this was a transitional period for us all. And you came in and you wasn't even, you were still an assistant football coach at the time.
Correct.
And Coach Sidney Smith was the head coach at that time. And you came in and you told the police officer to take your hand off my player.
Yeah.
Now, imagine us, student athletes, we're looking at this 1970s, and you came in, a big guy, a big black guy too.
Yeah.
And you telling this white police officer, take your hand off my player. He looked at you with such disgust and he had a backup with him. And you can imagine what we were thinking. We were thinking, oh no, trouble is here now. But Coach, you were serious.
Yes,
you
I
did
was.
it. And we were
Yeah.
all silent, dead silent, watching this unfold. And you came in and you told that police, you told the cop, take your hand off my player. And you
Yeah.
said with such a tone and conviction, and you meant it. Coach,
Yes, I did.
we saw that moment. That was a moment we thought you were going to get beat up and go to jail. Come on, Coach, talk to us. What was in your mind at that time?
What was in my mind no more that I was taught growing up. Man, my dad was about 6'5", about 220. And my daddy didn't fear anybody. And he taught us, you always be a man. Always be a man. Color does not make a difference. If you are right, you correct the situation. And man, my dad's mama stepped into me that night in the gym. And I can remember that just like it was yesterday. And I told that officer, because what do you think we was in there for? He thought we were going to tap that dressing room. That was his problem. And I knew we had that under control. Nobody was going to tap that locker room. And I told him, I got this under control. You don't even need to be in our dressing room. And the old guy turned around and went out the dressing room. Because, if you be a man, they're going to respect you as a man. But if you be a wimp, they're not going to respect you. And I demanded respect.
And Coach, you got it. You got it. Because I'm going to tell you, when we saw that was, we forgot all about the playoff game we just lost. We were all, it would have been great if you could have had a camera back there to witness the team, to see our eyes probably just wide open. And you stood up. But you know what, Coach, you instilled something else in that day. You got us to believing.
Yeah.
Because we had never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And that was a moment that you were getting ready to go to jail.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was true. Wow. That's historic. And a lot of folks don't even know that story. That's
I know it.
It's got to be said, because the next following year, Coach Sidney Smith, he left and went, as assistant coach in college.
Right.
And then, Wassman was looking for, a new head boys basketball coach. And Coach, I know myself and some of the other players, we all went to the principal and we were screaming, we wanted you for our coach. We wanted you for our coach. And of course, we didn't know you had applied anyway. And next thing we know, you got the job.
Yeah.
You got the job, Coach. And then you know what? Your first year as Wassman boys basketball coach, that was in 1975, 1976 season.
Yeah.
Now, we started out a little bit slow. We had Charlie Ballard and myself. We came back from the starting five from the previous year.
Yeah.
And we got off to a little slow start at the beginning because everything was new. We had new players join us, and you're our new coach. But then, Coach, we caught on fire.
Yes, we did.
We caught on fire.
Yeah, because I think at that time, we had David Click at the off guard, Lorenzo Crosby at the point guard. We had Ira Gibson. We had Osmond Winston in there. We had some good athletes. I just think that you had to make the adjustment to me, what I wanted, And by the time we got into the district, we just wiped people out.
We did.
We wiped people out. And man, I would get phone calls, man, why are you playing Carroll? Why are you playing Washington? Why are you playing Westman? I say, I want to get better. I want to get better. And what we did, we got better playing the high classification schools.
Yes.
And we got in the district, we just wiped everybody out.
Yes, we did. And as a matter of fact, and we had some serious competition right there in Monroe. Carroll, Richwood, Washington, and of course, we even played St. Frederick. We played everybody. West Monroe, they were all there. Neville.
Yeah. We didn't fear nobody. Didn't fear nobody.
And Coach, by the way, that new gym that's dedicated to you with your name on the front. And when you walk in there, you look at that wall and you see, all your, it's the Final Four appearances and state championships.
Yeah.
And that first one, Coach, that's up on that wall, 1976, making it to the Final Four.
That's right.
That's the team, your first season that I was on.
That's right.
We played in the Final Four to state champion. And Coach, by the way, we should have won it against Plaquemine.
Yeah.
Because we came out smoking, Coach, had them down 14-0. You know, but ultimately they won, and and I remember Fred Piper on the other team. He's supposed to have been the #1 player in the state. I was so looking forward to playing against him. But come on, Coach. And then, of course, after that, you just went on a roll for Wassman. You know, I mentioned all your achievements in athletics and so forth and what you've done. Is there anything you would want to add to that, Coach?
Well, I think about, you know, my principal had so much confidence in me because he knew that I was a man that was going to get over there. He was worried about the discipline of the team. Was the team going to have discipline? You know, I say I'm a disciplinarian. You know, there are going to be a few guys may not like what I do, but I tell them all the time, when we go to practice, we work. And I just remember you, Rob, after a ball game the next day, your shins would be hurt. You know, you don't jump out the gym, you don't block 5 or 6 shots. You got people scared to come down the lane, you know. I still see this right now, man, that the things that you accomplished when you was in the middle. You know, if we was in a 23 zone or whatever we had, they feared going in there because of you.
Well, thank you, Coach. You're making me blush.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's just true stuff. I could talk to Coach Burnett, who recently retired from Carroll. He was at Delta up in Maroon. And he said, man, we'd be afraid to go down in the middle when Robert Wilkins in there. Guy Rabel would tell me the same thing. I said, well, he going to bring fear to you because he going to block them. You go in there on the drive, he going to block them. So, but, you know, I just was grateful, you know, to be at Wassman. And I had opportunities to go to other schools, but I knew the potential that I had coming from M.L. King, at that time, Jefferson Junior High School. And the guys said, man, why don't you go on? They got a job for you. So I said, man, I'm good. I know the athletes I got coming. So I don't need to go anywhere. I just need to be productive with these young kids when they get there. And the thing about our program, you know, when I took over, Coach Dearman had the freshmen. Fobbs had the freshmen. And we played freshman ball, JV ball, varsity ball. And we just made sure that our kids got the knowledge of the game. You know, one will say that, well, all they're going to do is run and shoot. But, you know, we're going to play defense. We're going to run offensive sets. And we're going to be productive. And that's how, you know, I've been successful. And I can take a kid once he's a freshman, sophomore. And the next year he comes in, he can sit and run them same sets. And right now, I can look on the court as of today. The coach at Wassman now is Casey Jones, who played for me. I see some of the same sets, especially against a zone set. Somebody play him a zone, he gonna eat him up.
Coach, he gonna eat him up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I sort of think about the guy who you had on the other week, that played with you, and he made some of the same statements. You know, he went from school to school. But if it ain't broke, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. It's win.
That's it, Coach. That is it. And the guy you're talking about is Jeff Coleman. He's from Shreveport. He went to Shreveport.
Yeah.
Coach, you're looking at eight Final Four appearances.
Yeah.
12-time district champion. You know, 12-time district coach of the year. 3 times all Northeast Louisiana coach of the year and state coach of the year. What more could be achieved as far as a high school coach?
Well, look, I tell them all the time, I've been blessed. You know, I've been blessed to have good athletes. And if they came there, it wasn't good athletes, you know, I thought sometimes I might have been a little hard on them. But as they tell me today, they tell me just like you said, Coach, you did the right thing. Because if you would have lined up on us, we no telling what we would have done. You know. And Rob, one thing I was not a person that gonna go sit in the gym 2 or 3 hours. I didn't think that if you can't learn anything in an hour and 45 minutes, you don't need to be on the court. You know, I was get there, I make out my practice schedule. Everything was on time. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. And I figured after 45 minutes, you know, we don't have enough. Because I just think that if you in order to be productive, you know, get the kids the knowledge. Don't waste your time out there. You know, everything is programmed. And they know it. If I had a meeting and I had the captain, somebody run them, they knew what to do in the gym. If I was going to be late 15 minutes to coming in the gym, they knew exactly what to do. They know how to run the practice. I can put that practice schedule in their hand and they're going to go follow it. If anybody decided they're going to be smart mouth, didn't want to follow direction, I said, let's go outside and touch that wildcat. Let's go to the stadium. Coach, what you mean go? I said, let's go run to the stadium. We're going to get your legs right today. You know? So I remember Charlie Ballard right here today. When we first started practice, we didn't pick up the basketball. We go outside and run. Coach, when we going to run? When we going to pick that ball up? When we going to pick that ball up? I said, I got to get your legs right. I said, I got to get you strong. I got to get you strong, fella. Man, and he started griping. You know how Charlie was. And we need to be shooting. I said, no, you don't. I say, I need you to get your legs strong where you can get that jump off in the fourth quarter and stuff like that. But, you know, like I said, those guys, I'm just blessed with some guys. And I just think about those guys, man. And after you all left, you know, we had a guy come through there named Bobby Jenkins. He played at ULM. And he was another jumper. Jump out of the gym. Jump out of the gym.
And of course, ULM, for all of those that you don't know, is University of Louisiana Monroe.
Correct.
Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. But those guys that came on after you guys, you know, they knew what it took to win. And, you know, we just going to play basketball. We're going to win. We're going to lose 1 or 2, but we're going to win a whole lot of games.
And
you
Coach,
know, we're going to beat you in the fourth quarter.
And that you definitely did, you know. And the great thing about it is that, you know, you knew a lot of professional athletes, especially football players.
Yeah.
And, you know, these guys used to come to our gym all the time. You know, there was, you know, I remember Charlie Homeboy Smith for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, there was, you know, I mean, Sammy White played with the Minnesota Vikings and all that, you know, you just, these guys, and plus, not just that, you played football with James Harris, who everyone known as Shaq for the, he played with the Los Angeles Rams back in the early 1970s. Tell us about that, Coach.
Yeah, like Shaq, you know, we call him James Shaq Harris. You know, his nickname was Shaq. And Shaq and I both played small forward on the basketball team. And plus, he was our quarterback at Carroll. Gifted athlete, you know, who knew the game. He was intelligent. And, you know, all the time when they said that black guys couldn't play quarterback because they couldn't think. But I knew when Shaq got drafted, he was going to make a difference because he was intelligent, small boy in high school. You know, I remember one time on the football field, coach called a play. Shaq said, I'm going to be disrespectful this time. That play, that's not going to work. I said, man, you better not change that play. He said, we're going to change this play. And he changed the play because his vision, he had a vision. And his vision was that we can run this next play here and get a touchdown. And he ran it, got a touchdown, but he was sure disciplined after that game because he didn't run what the coach said. But, you know, you see movies about things like that, picture that a kid will change a play and be disciplined. So Shaq was a good, tremendous ball player, intelligent guy. And, you know, when he come home today, we make sure that we see each other because he's a great storyteller. You can believe him or don't believe him, but he got some stories to tell you.
And also just for others to know that Gwen Tab, she
Yeah,
was one of our cheerleaders, and
yeah,
you know, Shaq was her uncle.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Well,
That's
Coach, tell
right.
me this: is there any departing words that you would like to say to those, especially the kids coming up? You know, anything that you feel that needs to be said in today's time?
I just to these youngsters today, when I go up to the school sometime up to Wassman, and I go up there, they ask me to come talk to the young kids, you know, and I enjoy going talking to them, you know, and but let them know that, you know, in order to get something out the game, you got to put something in the game. You know, you can't come in the gym and just think you can do what you want to do. You know, you got to be coachable. You know, coachable, that goes a long ways. If you can coach a kid and the kid listen. And this is what I see now, you know, with the young guys there and the Coach Jones, who stayed away from Wassman for years, that is back at Wassman. And we were missing that after Coach Zinnerman. Coach Zinnerman took over the team after I left, and he won a championship the year after I left. That just goes to show you the talent that we had, you know. And then now we got Casey there, who have been to the top 20 every year he's been there, but he can't get through that hump. I just told him, coach, just keep working that game. It's gonna come. You're gonna win. You won. You know. But the young people just got to be coachable, do as what the coaches ask them to do, and play hard and get them books, man. It's so important that you get that knowledge in that classroom, because if you don't get that knowledge, you're not gonna go anywhere. You're just gonna tell everybody you was a great high school player, and you gonna make all kind of excuses for why you didn't go to the next level. You know, it's all about education. You know, you got to get that knowledge and get that diploma and get that degree in college. You know, don't let the college use you. You use them by getting your diploma. You know, it's important, and that is the thing. I was reading the thing the other day. A guy, a young kid, he's third in the country and coming out in 23 right now, in 2023. The young man already said that he's taking his talent to an HBCU school. He said that he feels that with all the stuff going on today in the world, he said that he thinks that he can go to HBC school and be successful, which is true. Which is true, because we have good coaches in our HBC schools. So I just think that, you know, if any of them youngsters out there listen, put your talent over there. You know, you're gonna be coached well. You know, let them guys make some of that big money. But that's what I had to say, Rob. And I enjoyed this, man. You took up my time, and I enjoyed you taking up my time, because I've been waiting on this day.
But there's one more thing I want to ask you, Coach, and I failed to ask you early on. Who were those that inspired you? Why go into coaching? Why go into teaching? What prompted you to choose such a profession?
Rob, be honest, when I first started, I didn't think I was going to stay as long, the longevity that I stayed in the sport, because most coaches, they thought it was a PE major or something like that, but I majored in sociology. I wanted to be a social worker, you know, because I could always talk, and I figured that I could help someone. But as I got on, and I was going to Kent State to get my master's. And I was walking across the campus one day, and the head coach from Jackson State was from Pine Bluff at the time. And he asked me, "What are you doing, man, after graduation?" I said, "Well, I've been accepted to Kent State, and that's where I'm going." He said, "Well, let me offer this to you. Come to Jackson State as a graduate assistant and work with me with the football program." I said, that's 120 miles from Monroe. I said, "Okay." He sent me the paperwork. I was accepted to Jackson State because there wasn't no problem, because I knew I had the academics behind me. And I went on to Jackson State and majored in early childhood education. And in early childhood education, there were no men's in that program. And matter of fact, when I went to Prairie View, that's what I taught, early childhood education. And as of the day, I never taught another classroom after I left Prairie View because I got that habit of that coaching. And I thought about some of the coaches that I coached that coached me at Dodd Blade at Carroll High School, who was a successful coach. And then when I went to Prairie View, I worked with a guy named Bill Cofield. He was the head basketball coach at Prairie View. But he was the first Black coach to coach at a major university. He coached at the University of Wisconsin, Bill Cofield. And Bill Cofield and I would talk each and every day, and I got so much knowledge from Bill Cofield. And then especially when I took the boys' job, and them guys, they just grew on me. The guy in Gremlin, Fred Hobley, when I took the boys' job, I used to sit down 2 hours with him. We just sit down and talk basketball. Lee Fobbs and I would go there on Sunday evening and sit down and just talk basketball. And then I got hooked. I couldn't leave. I was offered more jobs in football. Come there, I'm done. I'm nothing but basketball now. And both of the sports was good to me. I got my education, scholarship in football, and it was all good. So I was just inspired by Bill Cofield, guys like Coach Fred Hobley, and a guy at UAPB named H.O. Cliff. So the gang been good for me, and I've been around good, successful coaches that I learned a lot from, and you can't ever get enough knowledge. That's why now they ask me that I want to do. I really want to coach, and I tell them, no, I'm good. All I want to do is go to the gym, get me a bag of popcorn and a Sprite. I'm good.
But Coach, I got to ask, do you get in all the games free?
Yeah, ain't no problem there. Look at take 2 or 3 of the guys with me too, my homeboy.
Just talking to you bring back so many memories, and just hearing you bestow wisdom to everyone, because the hard work you talked about and so forth, and what it takes.
Yeah.
And you've done it.
Yeah.
The information you've just shared with everybody is gold if they take it to heart and apply it to their lives.
Right.
So I want everyone to remember the things he said here. And if you like this channel, please press the subscribe button, and also follow me on this journey, because I'm going to bring real substance, just like what you heard on Coach George Belton, who we call Vamp, to share with you that can take you to the next level. Coach, as we close here, any final words?
No, I just tell them all, just work hard, be successful, keep the ball in your corner, don't turn it over.
Thank you, Coach. And I love you, man.
Love you too, Rob.
All right.